Here, I got some breaking news for you nerds. It seems like hopes have been dashed as the LK99 is confirmed not to be a room temperature superconductor. I don't know if this is, I fucking love science, so I don't know how legit it is, and I still want to believe. But for some reason, this stuff rarely gets real coverage. This kind of stuff should get, like, trade publication coverage. What's happening? Why am I getting this information from either Daily Loud or I fucking love science? Anyway, we'll talk about Ohio's major W in a little bit. But yeah, without further ado, Imran Khan, coup d'etat, new Johnny Harris. That one is a fire vid. We will be reacting. Johnny Harris did a real story of the Mormon church video. He himself is a former Mormon. He's a formie Mormie. So very excited for that. Greg Abbott is actually trying to murder migrants more efficiently. I know. Saw that as well. Let's get started. Let's get started with that. Texas Governor Greg Abbott installed circular saws between the Rio Grande border buoys to maim or kill anyone who attempts to climb over. Two bodies have already been found trapped in the floating barrier. He wants migrants to die. Now, this is cruel and unusual and horrifying. But like I said, Americans can find a way to be creative and exercise their creative muscles when they're being fucking racist. This is it. Now, what do I mean by this? A lot of people, I saw this on Twitter. This is uniquely gross, uniquely cruel, absolutely unimaginably cruel. And yet, of course, because cruelty is the absolute point here, conservatives have been celebrating this, comparing it to a barbed wire, for example. Oh, what are you going to tell me the barbed wire is cruel? First of all, yes, it's also messed up. However, having said that, a barbed wire is on top of an enclosure of sorts. It's a fence. So although it is still cruel, this is infinitely more cruel. Do you want to know why? Because these buoys are supposed to be floating objects that you can potentially climb onto when you're braving the elements. Not only is this hidden, but it's also hidden inside of what you, in a moment of survival, could see as a protective tool. This is a booby trap. It's worse than an electric fence with no sign. An electric fence with no sign is still a fence. It's still terrible. It's still awful. But this is even worse than that. It's like having a life raft, but it's actually an explosive inside the life raft. Like you touch the life raft and there's a claymore in it or something. Like, this is genuinely depraved shit. This is war crime territory, absolutely. But of course, doesn't matter. America is a uniquely fucked up nation, filled to the brim with absolute psychopaths. The Rio Grande is not a war zone, even though this would be unacceptable in a war zone. This would be akin to a landmine, or even worse, a booby trap, like an incendiary explosive device, an improvised explosive device strapped to a child's toy. Okay? Like, this is truly depraved shit. This is the type of stuff that, you only engage in if you are a horrifying monster. Remember, you're talking about bear traps, you're talking about booby traps, but like, it takes it one step further, because this is supposed to be a protective tool. It's a buoy. It's a life raft. It's something that you're supposed to hang on to save your life. It's like a med kit with poison in it. You know what I mean? I'm having a hard time coming up with additional analogies because the purpose of this buoy is to help people. Anyway, and of course, it's filled to the goddamn brim. This original post, filled to the goddamn brim with people with blue check marks going, no, he doesn't want him to die. He wants him to go home. just like people celebrating it, people saying this is good. People who have never seen concertina wire on the parking garage of an upscale condo building in the downtown area of a democratic city. So what's up? You like that? Like, it's not even a good analogy. It's not even a good comparison. But, like, are you saying that that's good then? Like, is that what's going on? They're trying to both buy your logic out of this situation, but also simultaneously not even doing a good job. I thought he had a win. He does have a win because he's an idiot. You got to understand, when you're a dumbass, you go through life being a dumbass like this, you're already too stupid to recognize that you're a dumbass. Ignorance is bliss, but it doesn't end there. Not only is ignorance bliss, but also now on Twitter, when you pay $8, shit gets highlighted to all the other dumbasses. It's like a dumbass bat signal. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, look at me. I'm a dumbass. Give me some support, please. Other idiots that are online. And then they usually get it. So many of my friends have been talking about how Twitter has become just like increasingly more angry towards them. And I'm over here thinking like, yeah, of course. How could this have gone wrong? Of course, if you set up a structure where people who are stupid enough to pay $8 a month to the dumbest person on the planet will be boosted by the algorithm, of course they're going to. Of course it's going to ruin the platform. I've never seen a concertina wire on an upscale apartment building. By the way, what is this guy talking about? It doesn't even matter. He's making it up in his mind. You know what I mean? Like, he thinks upscale democratic city apartment luxury high-rise condominiums have this. Your tweet about it? Oh yeah, this. Pete Jar's, friend of the show, on her alt said, when I started sex work 8 years ago, I was bullied and harassed on another level. But this last year has been almost miserable with harassment online. Luckily, I'm more immune than I was, but why the fuck have people gotten 10x more hateful recently? I said, Elon Musk Twitter is a right-wing shithole where the dumbest people pay $8 a month to get boosted on your replies. True, but sadly, this tweet was not directed at Twitter when I made it. Oh, that makes it even worse. Now, I think Twitter has the capacity to boost that everywhere else. We are, and if you're old enough to know, if you've been around for a while, if you've been a leftist or a progressive for like, I don't know, 10 years, which many of you haven't been. Many of you haven't been paying attention, or maybe your politics were on the other side of the spectrum back then. We are fully in the 2014 era internet, baby. Fully. And I know I called this when Joe Biden became president. I told you guys that this was going to happen. But we are absolutely right there. And this time around, it's not like the, Obama's not doing enough against Islamic terrorism, and that's why I became a right-wing, alt-right Nazi. Even though I was originally a Reddit atheist, guys, they're somehow an even dumber group of people. Like, it's just, it has devolved into something even dumber. 2013, 2014, all the way to 2016 internet era. I was around back then. I was an outspoken progressive back then, right? Some of my opinions have shifted on certain issues, but overall, pretty much the same. And back then, I would get mass downvotes, mass harassment campaigns, doxing, even though I wasn't even famous. You know what I mean? And we're fully in the pocket now. There was a brief moment, or there was a little bit of air when, Donald Trump was president, ironically, and everybody was like, yeah, maybe shit's still messed up, even though we have a conservative in office. But I've been here before. Obviously, I'm a lot less alone this time around. But I've been here before. We're definitely there. 2014 era Republicans are book smart and hateful. 2023 Republicans are brain dead and hateful. They're just more brain dead than they ever were. And there's a lot of like apolitical guys who are just like hyper far right. And back in the day, when people used to say, I'm a centrist, they were actually conservatives, but they were hiding it. Nowadays, when people say, oh, I'm a centrist, I'm not political, fuck this guy. This guy's a, F word, or this guy's lame, or this guy's gay. They actually don't realize that they're conservative. At least there was an art to this whole, like, I'm actually a centrist liberal. I'm a classical conservative. I'm a classical liberal. That type of thing was like a way to mask your conservative perspective. But you had this recognition that deep down inside you were conservative, right? And then you would become more confident and you would openly admit it. And then you would say that you're like a racist Nazi eventually if you got all the way down that political pipeline. Nowadays, these guys are actually stupid. They don't even realize it. Like they genuinely do not even understand that they are like ideologically conservative because there's just nothing up there. They're just like responding to stimuli like animals. And there's a real attitude shift amongst people who are very stupid. It tends to be worse now because everything's a sports team type concept of a real issue of any hateful people. And once you add in that cloud is more of a social currency than ever, it gets nasty. Yep. It's crazy. Yeah. Add cloud into the equation and also a lack of shame. The further we move away from, valuing education, the further we move away from valuing media literacy, some level of critical thinking, logic. It's kind of wild that I'm the one who's saying this, right? Like 2014 conservatism revolved around being the guy who makes the best logical and rational arguments. We're actually the side that has science backing them. 2023 conservatism is, no, my feelings are the most important. I'm a conservative. If you are even dunking on me, that's basically a hate crime. Why are you doing that? They are the SJWs at this point. The tweet about how an increased number of people will go for the easy money of right-wing grifting. I mean, I've been saying that for years and years, but it's in overdrive now. That's why it's always funny. So many of my interlocutors, so many of the people who call me out become right-wing grifters later down the line. It's like, what happened? I thought I was the right-wing guy. When did you become a right-wing guy? I thought, 3 years ago, you're shitting on me because I'm not left enough. And now all of a sudden you're a right-winger. How did that happen? There are a lot of, there's also like a loser brigade. There's this weird hug box that conservatives do create for you if you're a fallen soldier. You know what I mean? Oh, did you fall from grace? It was feminism and the gays that did that to you. Come over to our side. We'll help you out. Real sad. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but what if Elon Musk is collaborating with the Saudis, who I still think have a stake in Twitter, and their ultimate goal is to delegitimize Twitter and make it fail over time because Twitter was a big tool in the Arab Spring, etc. Document leaks? What? I mean, what if 44 billion to Elon? No, I don't think it's a Saudi conspiracy. First of all, I don't think Saudi Arabia cares about American domestic politics all that much. They do whatever they want. They got the crude oil, okay? And let me tell you, absolutely zero Americans care about the human rights abuses that the Saudi Arabian kingdom is engaging in. Another aspect of this, you are correct, Bernie Sanders. Mainstream conservatives have merged with insuldom. Like there were certain aspects of like alt-right, far-right conspiracy theorists that were relegated to the darkest corners of the internet where they could just like not really have a lot of light shined on them. Basement dwelling incels, 4chan people. These people are now openly out and about. Like this is a post-Trump world. They're openly out and about. Their mania, their mania is for all to see. It's completely out there in public in broad daylight for all of your consumption. And not only is it out there, but it's out there for other idiots to also appreciate, consume, enjoy, celebrate, give clout to. You know? Matt Walsh saying ADHD is fake. Yeah, I mean, this is funny because it's like the least offensive thing he's ever said. Adults with ADHD are forced to navigate life while unmedicated. The horror. You mean adults might have to learn how to function as human beings without unnecessary drugging themselves? What a shocking thought. I mean, listen, I have ADHD, and as someone with ADHD, let me tell you something, okay? I think Americans medicate a little too much. That is, I mean, what is it? Like, how much of the world's drugs do we consume in the United States of America? Not that I'm saying that like ADHD is fake or anything. I don't think Matt Walsh is right on this. But the U.S. continues to face a nationwide shortage of Adderall due to surging demand in recent years. Some adults with ADHD are forced to navigate life while unmedicated. The horror. You mean adults might have to learn how to function without unnecessarily drugging themselves. You don't have ADHD. You just get distracted because you live your life surrounded by distractions and you've never developed the discipline required to focus on one task at a time. Can't solve that with a drug, I'm afraid. That's insane. I mean, these guys don't believe that depression is real. You know what I mean? Like ADHD and living life with ADHD, I feel like on the grand scheme of things is a little bit, it's still bad, obviously, if you can't get medicated for your issues, but like I'm going to place that a little bit lower on the totem pole when comparing it to like chronic depression. Not that there is a competition there. Anyway, so there are a lot of people, in my opinion, in my genuine opinion, and you're probably not one of these people if you're in the chat being like, I'm going to fucking die or whatever, right? Because everyone's illness is different. But there are a lot of people, I think, that got prescribed Adderall and various other uppers during the pandemic through telehealth services, which genuinely, in my opinion, like was a little bit overprescribed. And then that kind of fucked it up for people who actually legitimately need it, who are need it for existing in normal society. And they've just been, everyone's been having a hard time. Why do pandemic diagnoses not actually need it? No, during the pandemic, telehealth became massively popular. And due to that, people were able to just basically say, hey, yeah, come on, give me some fucking drugs. Yeah, chat acting like pill mills are not real is crazy. Like, it's the same with Oxycontin, or not necessarily Oxycontin, but just like even fentanyl, right? Like some people need it for chronic pain management, but it should be heavily regulated. And Adderall is the other side of this equation. Uppers and downers both. Americans are the most medicated people on the planet. I'm not like a holistic medicine guy by any means. As you guys know, I love modern medicine. Big fan of that stuff. Believe in it. And the conversation sometimes turns into a black and white issue. It's not the best person to talk this over because, with respect to Matt Walsh, he's a piece of shit and he's an absolute idiot saying ADHD isn't real. You just can't pay attention. Shut the fuck up, right? You're a dumbass. But what I mean by this, that's why I turned it off. What I mean by this is kind of like people, how do I describe this? It's kind of like this, right? There is a validity to at least one type of diabetes that you could completely combat if you, one, monitored your sugar intake and also lost weight and were eating healthy. You could literally limit the amount of diabetes that you have. Limit your insulin. You could kickstart your insulin production even without actual medication. I say this as someone whose entire family is diabetic, right? My dad, diabetic, whole life. Chronically obese, almost died multiple times throughout his life. Had to live with, he had to hit himself with a pen. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about type 1. I'm talking about type 2, right? Guess what? Gastric bypass. He got his shit chopped off all the way down to his intestines. Okay? Doesn't need diabetes medication any longer. Why? Because he lost a fuck ton of weight. He was not able to eat. Like physically, he was not able to eat still to this day. So there is truth to to avoiding medication and still being able to, on certain illnesses, on certain issues, there is definitely some truth. It's more, the human body is very complex. This does not mean that I'm like an anti-vaxxer or anything. Make no mistake. I'm not out here saying like, oh yeah, take some silver, colloidal silver, and you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Not at all. But I do think that the other side of treatment in the United States of America is oftentimes just completely avoided. People make it seem like there's no way that you could treat certain things without immediate pharmaceutical intervention. And that is not the case. The other side also does absolutely take a tremendous amount of work, tremendous amount of effort, a lot of money, much harder. So it's understandable to need to medicate. It's understandable to need to medicate in order to get to that point in many respects. So on the one hand, I do feel as though we over-medicate in this country. We absolutely do. But on the other hand, I do think it's ridiculous to not be able to have access to your medication. You know? When even having bad headaches, I refuse to take a single paracetamol pill. I mean, I'm a bit of a kook on that regard as well. Let's be real. You are talking to someone who is deathly afraid of painkillers. I will refuse them. I just know that I have a very addictive personality. I'm an addict to everything. So I do refuse to. Can't be unbiased about uppers. Sorry, man. Too many of your deranged online haters are amphetamine abusers. Kidding. I mean, that is true. Paracetamol, not American. I know. I have some right here, actually. It's funny, from France. But it's pretty funny to consider. The NSAID are non-addictive and fine in small, normal amounts. I know. I'm worried about developing a tolerance even. So unless I physically can't function, I will most likely not take any kind of pain blockers. Advil, Tylenol, all that. NSAID. Do you ever think about medicating your ADHD? I've had health insurance to do it, but it's something I had to think about. I'm fine. NSAIDs typically do not develop tolerance until you take high doses for extended periods of time. Okay. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Gotta call an Uber for my mom and dad. But without further ado, let's get started. Georgia grand jury expected to hear Trump's case. Just say NSAIDs. That's what medical people use. Okay, done. My ADHD meds keep me from going ham on other drugs by chilling out the parts of my brain to do the bad kind of novelty-seeking law, but they're not right for everyone. NSAIDs. All right, let's talk about Georgia grand juries expected to hear the Trump case.
The mounting legal challenges for former President Donald.
Uber camping the Hassan residence? No. LAX. I got an Uber. I got an Uber for my mom and dad. They're at LAX. They're coming over.
Donald Trump. ABC News has learned that the Georgia
airports are popular Uber spots. My friend, let me tell you something, okay? In all of my history of traveling outside of Los Angeles, coming back to Los Angeles, I've never had an Uber pick up in 3 minutes. Damn, that's like $150 Uber. No, it's cheaper than that, but it's still very expensive. But, you know, of course I'm going to get the best for my parents. What are you, crazy? Let me tell you, LAX, they wait in a carpool area. There's like a garage for Ubers, basically, or they'll sit at a hotel right next to the airport and sit in the parking lot and wait. Okay? And because of the unimaginable traffic that exists at LAX, getting in and out is usually a 20-minute process just to get in, even if they're right next to the fucking right next to the airport in general. LAX is hell on earth for the most part. And for those of you who are saying that's every airport, that is not the case at all. You are absolutely incorrect. Either airports are, one, away from the cities, which is, a logistical nightmare in a different way, but still have like enough exit points and enough traffic flow, or more importantly than that, they have trams, buses, trains, subway stations, things that allow you to leave the airport without immediately requiring a car. Now, LAX unfortunately has none of those things, and that is precisely the problem. LAX is smack dab in the middle of the city, which is not the worst thing. Plenty of airports do that. Okay, that's fine. However, there are no adequate public transit measures that allow you to, with ease, leave the airport and go to other parts of the city. That's the issue. You get it? It's the same phenomena that I talk about quite frequently whenever I cover stadiums. Identical problem. Stadiums in cities without adequate public transit are a nightmare because they take up an entire stadium, a much larger space than the stadium itself, with a parking garage. Because how? Because everyone has to get to the stadium by car. Individual modes of transit. No public transit options are available. You have to go there by car. And that's why when you go to SoFi, it's going to take you it's going to be a 2-hour ordeal to leave that stadium if there's a big event happening. There are literally shuttles out of LAX. I know, my friend. It's clearly inadequate. And also, you're comparing a couple minibuses and like some larger buses to an airport that sits inside of the public transit structure that is completely worthwhile, working, takes you to every part of the city. You will never understand this. You will never understand this. The problem isn't getting you just immediately outside of LAX. The problem is people won't use that public transit if it doesn't take you to other parts of the city. And if you don't have a working grid that is reliable, then people won't use the other aspects of it, the other parts of it, like just to get out of LAX even. You're basically telling me, like, what do you mean? There's minibuses that will take you to a rent-a-car parking lot, for example, which I have taken in the past in order to not pay the incredibly high fees that you have to pay if you want to get picked up from LAX, like to cheat the system a little bit, right? But that's just a minibus. That's not the same. You're still in the vicinity. You're still in like in that neighborhood. And I don't know how to describe it to people who have never experienced the wonders of public transit. The thing is, when you have public transit, you can still have cars. Like, no one is saying it's illegal now to drive a car. It's just that when that option exists, right? When that option exists, many people will take it because it's significantly more affordable and in a lot of instances much faster. So that actually makes traffic congestion better. That's the only effective proven method to delete traffic congestion. That's it. There's no other way to do it. But like, even if you're a big car guy and you're like, I need my car. I want to fuck this cussy. I live in my car. I need my car. I love my car. I want to fucking suck my car, or whatever your attitude is about vehicles. Remember, it'll open up traffic congestion for you and all of your other car Andes, okay? Anyway, get to Georgia.
Now to the mounting legal challenges for former President Donald Trump. ABC News has learned that the Georgia prosecutor investigating Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election results in that state will likely present the case to a grand jury next week. Our senior investigative reporter, Aaron Katursky, joins us now with more. Aaron, good morning.
Whit, good morning to you. Sources tell ABC News the district attorney in Atlanta is expected to begin presenting her case to a grand jury next week, meaning Former President Trump could soon be facing criminal charges in a fourth case. This one involves efforts by Trump and his allies to interfere in the Georgia election results, including the browbeating phone call to the Secretary of State asking him to find extra votes and the intimidation of election workers. And unlike the federal charges Trump faces, a conviction in a state case would be pardoned.
I love the duality of the chat. Free my boy, lock him up. Free him. Till his name spelled backwards.
Proof. More than 75 witnesses testified, including former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, Senator Lindsey Graham, and Rudy Giuliani, who has also been informed he's a possible target too. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has said her work is accomplished and we're ready to go. Trump himself, in a fundraising email, said he expected to be indicted again. And in recent days, security barriers have been going up around the courthouse.
Oh, thank you. A picture is worth 1,000 words, baby. Look at that. EU versus U.S. football stadium. Holds the same capacity. Almost like cities are more dense than suburbs. Meanwhile, Yankee Stadium. This is so dumb. This person legitimately doesn't understand what is going on here. Brother, what's the difference between Yankee Stadium versus whatever stadium this is? Do you not understand? It's not the density that is the problem here. Oh my God, Americans are so stupid. I'm going to lose my mind. And they're responding. More blue check marks. Responding. Look at Fenway. Look at Wrigley. Oh my God. Oh my God. They just genuinely don't understand it. They will never understand it. Oh my God. Oh my God. You are describing... You are literally, it's not the stadium. It's not the stadium. It's not the stadium size. Oh my God. It is the parking space necessary for that stadium to exist in a Carver-Line infrastructure setting. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Guys, the reason why you can put a stadium in the middle of the city, or the reason why you can put a stadium anywhere in general and have way less traffic congestion is, and you don't need to do this, is when you have public transit. That's the point. It's not magic. Okay? It's not magic at all. Just take the L, brother. Those stadiums are hella dense. Wait, what? You are currently talking about stadiums with at least some level of, like, stadiums that rely on some level of public transit in order to deal with traffic congestion. What is going on? You can't be this stupid, right? Please, please, please stop. Oh God, I am I being baited again? I can't tell. You can't, if the argument is, look at how this stadium is built without need for massive parking structures versus look at how this stadium is built with need for massive parking structures. And then your answer is, well, look at all of these other stadiums in America that have been built and rely on public transit in the identical way that this EU one is, the EU one exists. You are missing the point. You are absolutely missing the point. This blows my mind. This also still doesn't mean that you can't, like, drive to any stadium. You can always have some level of, you can always have, like, a additional parking structure that you can go to and park your car at and then go to and from the stadium that way. No one is saying eliminate cars in its entirety. The checkmark Andes are saying this does not only exist in Europe, meaning stadiums without insane parking, and your argument should be they were built before city planning forbid them. Yeah. No, my argument has nothing to do with oh, look at how ugly this is or anything like that. I mean, even though it is ugly. Parking lots are disgusting. They're ugly. But my argument has everything to do with you can build this as long as you have some kind of decent public transit options. Okay? You can even build it now in the United States of America. As long as you have public transit, as long as you have an adequate subway system, a metro system, a railway, trams, something, buses, that's it. Let's bring this back to LA. Dodger Stadium's parking area is 10x bigger than the stadium itself. I know, I've been there. It's gross. Car drivers want to be the first priority. If public transit becomes higher priority and parking becomes awful, car drivers feel like secondary citizens to the meager pedestrian. Yeah, which they should. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it because hyper focusing on public transit literally makes it a better structure overall for car drivers. Like, even if you are a car fucker, even if you're literally like, I want to fucking suck my car, okay, it will be a more enjoyable experience for you to drive your car if there is better, adequate public transit, because it reduces traffic congestion. It is the only way to reduce traffic congestion. It's yet another, I'm not one of those like, oh, I'm a sock dem, EU market socialist truther by any means, or like one of those YIMBY guys who's constantly chirping about zoning as though that's the only way to eradicate the housing problem in this country. But this is one of those issues where it's like, it just doesn't make any sense why you would be against it. It literally is a win-win-win. It's a win for you. Even if you like driving, it is a win for you. It's crazy. It blows my mind. Like, if there was a free way to avoid the top of the hour ad break, okay, and you were afforded with the opportunity, and instead of taking it in the form of a Twitch Prime, you said, nah, it's fine. I'm happy watching 3 minutes of ads. Fuck you. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. If you no longer want to see those ads, there's options for you. Okay, you can subscribe for $5. You can subscribe for free with a Twitch Prime. You can get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Silly. Silly billies. Oh my Lord. What the hell? Emma, this is crazy. Craig Robertson from Provo, Utah, was killed today by the FBI during a raid after he made threats against Biden. Here are some of his recent Facebook posts, all in just the last 2 days. Perhaps Utah will become famous this week as the place a sniper took out Biden the Marxist. Now, what I find really funny about this post is that this is like the trans flag colors, kind of. It's giving trans flag, which I find, or like at least at the very least bisexual flag colors, you know? I don't know what's happening there. In my dream, I see Joe Biden's body in a dark corner of a DC parking garage with his head severed and lying in a huge puddle of blood. Hurrah. I hear Biden's coming to Utah, digging out my old ghillie suit and cleaning the dust off my M24 sniper rifle. Welcome, buffoon in chief. I like that back in the day, this used to basically be like Fed posting, right? This was Fed posting. This guy just decided, I'm not even Fed posting. I'm going to get killed by the feds. Guys, I'm feeling like this guy wasn't all there. Yeah. In the United States of America, you can do suicide by cop. Or if you're real crazy with it, if you want to get real spicy with it, you can do a long, drawn-out suicide by Fed. Turns out this man had also threatened Merrick Garland, Adam Schiff, and constantly posted his weapons and vague and specific threats. Also mentioned going to a target-rich environment at a Dem fundraising event last year. Imagine being this upset about Democrats, who literally are the same villains that the Republicans are. That's what always blows my mind about like hyper-specific anger that these guys have towards the Democratic Party, and you know it's just from like doing too much Facebook, right? Because it's like what do you think is going to change if you kill Joe Biden? You already know that Joe Biden is a carcass. He's a meat puppet. He's nothing. He's just like a symbol. The Democratic Party and the institutions, rather, beyond the Democratic Party, are just running with or without his input. You think killing him is going to do anything? What are you fucking... you are stupid. You're the stupidest. Also, yet another Meal Team 6 guy, which I personally love. Especially because you can tell that he's Meal Team 6, even from all the gear that he has on. Merrick Garland eradication tool. Coming for me with your FBI, you little demented weasel, cowardly asshole. And it's this is also another one of those situations where it's like, well, this is kind of ableist. You know what I mean? Are we being a little ableist here? But it's like, well, how can you make the distinction between like a regular old crazy conspiracy theorist conservative and like one that's just a little bit beyond? He's got gyno, even with the gear, 4.5 out of 10. I want so much to put this against Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler's temple. Pull the trigger and watch their heads explode like watermelons drop from a 3-story building. Like, you're that mad about Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler? Like, what have they done to you? I'm sorry. Oh, there's a piece of hair. There's like a little hair right there. I thought it was on my screen. Like, a positive cure for Bidenitis. Look, Joe, it's a ghost gun. Also could be used as an AOC douchette bag going to a Democrat fundraiser. Hear that? It's a target-rich environment. So, like, AOC, like a death threat towards AOC, I understand. She's, like, propped up as, like, one of the major villains in the Democratic Party, even though she clearly has no power within the Democratic Party's infrastructure. But, like, these guys are idiots. They don't know any better. But, like, Jerry Nadler, the fuck? Like, is Jerry Nadler getting a lot of play on Fox News? Like, why are you mad at a dude who shits his pants on camera? You want to kill people who are already who already got one foot in the grave, you know? Scroll down for a photo of him without the mask. He's exactly what you would expect. Oh, wait, there is one? Craig Robertson without the mask. Let's see. Let's see what my main man looks like. Oh, wait, is that his dad or is that him? No shot, that's him. Wait, does he have an I stand with the flag? He has an I stand with the flag avatar thing? This guy is so my shit. Yeah, I'm shocked you didn't find this guy, Michael. Was he arrested? No, he was killed. Here, apparently. Here it is.
After an investigation, the FBI saying that a man was shot and killed today during a raid in Provo, Utah, in connection with an investigation.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of shocked that the FBI did he was on our radar, but took it out way before. I guess if you're on the radar of Secret Service and the FBI, they will take you out. If you want to kill like school children, they're like, it's fine. Like, it's kind of crazy. Those were some fucking insane threats. Yeah. Like, if you say this kind of stuff about Twitch streamers, let's say you say this kind of stuff about Twitch streamers who may or may not be leftist, okay? The FBI may or may not see that and go, it'll work itself out. But you say that about Joe Brandon, who's like basically fucking dead. They're like, oh yeah, we got to deal with this immediately. So freedom of speech ain't a thing no more. Can't even make specific threats against the POTUS. Kind of fucked up if you ask me, brother. I didn't realize we were living in communist China. Wow, this is just like saying Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. Threatening someone on 3 HP is crazy. I guess like it's one of those things where he set his sights on something that is like bound to happen regardless, which is, Joe Biden dying due to old age, right? So in that regard, it's like being mad at Dianne Feinstein. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm coming after you, Dianne, you fucking bitch. And it's like, bro, who's coming after her? God, okay? The cycle of life. The elements, stairs, really. In this last sequence of the Dianne Feinstein saga, it's just stairs. What the fuck? Got another 20 years left in her.
Investigation regarding alleged threats against President Biden and others. Officials briefed on the case tell ABC News that those threats had been deemed credible after an investigation began in April.
Yeah, no shit. No shit, dude. Oh, yeah. You think those threats were credible? My man, non-stop, was like very specifically putting out coordinates of where and when he would be, what kind of guns he would be using, and how he would kill people, and his fantasies about what he would do to their dead bodies.
And that the FBI was later notified about the individual in June. We are still waiting for comment from the White House, also the Secret Service, but we will bring you updates as soon as we have it. Meanwhile, our chief investigative reporter, Josh Margolin, has been working his sources and this story. Josh, what do we know at this hour?
What?
In a shootout with the FBI went to his home early morning today in
Joe was spitting, dude. Absolute fire on mute. Goes hard.
Provo, Utah, about 6 a.m. That's a pretty standard tactic. They went to arrest him and to search his home after threats had been made online, and they were deemed to be credible. That's troubling.
So the investigation began back in April, right?
You're really not going to give me the full story here, ABC? Like, where's the rest of it? Oh, there's more.
What triggered that? Did they get some type of tip? What led to the probe?
Well, we don't know exactly what opened the investigation. We do know that he had been posting online, apparently, for quite some time, long before April. Something happened in April, and it's really only coming out in this last little bit that we're getting any information about it. So that'll be developing. FBI opened an investigation. By June, the investigation had matured so much so that they told the Secret Service, obviously the Secret Service is responsible for protecting the president and to make sure that any threats, that they get rid of any threats to the president or the people under their protection. And then today, for whatever reason, and we will hopefully start to learn about why the FBI went ahead and wanted to arrest this individual today. Today, they decided to go ahead and execute these warrants to arrest him and to search the home. In the process, this is somebody who boasted about an appreciation for guns. In the process, as the FBI coming in, a shootout ensued.
All right, we'll keep tracking it with you, Josh. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Kira.
There goes our Airbnb.
So yeah, they've been having him on the radar since April. Secret Service tells the FBI in June. Still takes like 2 months to get to him, you know? He was making plans to take physical action. Threats have been deemed credible. FBI in Salt Lake City said the shooting occurred around 6:15 a.m. local time, while special agents were attempting to serve arrest and search warrants at a residence in Provo. The FBI takes all shooting incidents involving our agents or task force members seriously, the FBI said. In accordance with FBI policy, the shooting incident is under review by the FBI's inspection division. As this is an ongoing matter, we have no further details to provide. Robertson was facing 3 counts according to the complaint: interstate threats, threats against the president, and influencing, impeding, and retaliating against federal law enforcement officers by threat. The complaint includes numerous social media posts, as we saw. Among the posts allegedly made by Robertson, one was published on August 6th, 3 days before Biden's scheduled visit, according to the complaint. I hear Biden is coming to Utah, digging out my old ghillie suit, cleaning the dust off the M24 sniper rifle, the post said. Like, what do you think you're doing? I don't really understand the mentality, but I guess it's because, like, these guys are just so fucking permanently brain broken. It's just, yeah, that's why they raided his home. And then he also said numerous times, I know the FBI is watching. Come and try to catch me. I will kill you. So, like, yeah. They came to his house, and then God knows what happened, and now he's dead. Biden is also gonna die in 3 to 5 years, but try 2, okay? That's the funniest part about it, is that, like, Biden just, like Like, if you want to see Biden dead, just like outlive him, okay? That's all you need to do for like a little bit longer. You know what I mean? He's old as fuck. He's on his last leg. So I don't know what the right will say about this, but I suspect it'll go along the lines of like either A, oh, this guy's a Fed. He's fake and gay. He's actually a homosexual communist. Or they'll do the other thing where they'll say like he was exercising his First Amendment and Second Amendment rights, and the FBI killed him because he was anti-Biden, and the FBI is pro-Biden. Look at him and tell me he wasn't at the same HP as Biden. Yeah, I mean he's definitely a lot older than I thought he was gonna be. Brother, you watch more Fox News than this guy, and you don't even know that these hogs hate Jerry Nadler? What? What do you mean Gary Nadler? This guy was on 16 Chan or something to find Gary Nadler being a threat. Jerry, first of all. And I do find it funny that you wrote Gary Nadler. Like, I don't even know what his fucking name is. This is why I find it funny when pro-gun people say they need them to fight the government, thinking they can take them because they own a shitload of guns. Yeah. Yeah. So Gary Nadler is like Jim Biden, so he's probably real. He looks like a 70s serial killer. I mean, this is a funny ass story. Like at this point, it's like you can't help but laugh. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm a heartless, cold person, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like it's yet another fuck around and find out moment, and it's like it's so patently idiotic to do this. I don't know what to say other than, yeah, if you have a lot of guns and you keep saying you're going to execute politicians and fantasize about it over and over again, and then the fucking FBI comes knocking down your door and you, I don't know, try to defend yourself or even do anything remotely threatening, they're going to probably kill you because they're cowards themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they're human beings. Police officers, federal law enforcement officers, like, these guys aren't robots. They're fucking human. If they think you have a gun, as you have shown time and time again, and they're knocking on your fucking door, they're going to be already like, they're already fucking terrified. You know what I mean? They know you have a gun. I don't know what to explain here. Like, I don't know what to say. This is half of the reason why I will never understand why law enforcement is so fucking pro Second Amendment. Like, hey, idiot, it makes your job harder. You know what I mean? Odd. Like, it makes your job harder all the time in every capacity. Gives them more of an excuse to use theirs. I don't think there is enough. Look, I'm a firm believer that there are plenty of people who either learn or are exhibiting sociopathic behavior when they join law enforcement or after many years on the job. But I also am a firm believer that there's, human beings aren't all serial killers. You know what I mean? They're not all fucking serial killers. There are plenty of them who are, not good guys, but are just legitimately afraid. They're hopped up on so much media and the knowledge of the very real reality in America that like any and every person that they fucking stop could be armed with an arsenal. There is absolutely a pro law enforcement argument for restricting guns. As a matter of fact, in pretty much every other country, with the exception of the United States of America, law enforcement are, of course, anti-guns. Yet another circumstance where Americans cannot see the world outside of their own, like, unique little bubble. America probably is the only country where the law enforcement is like, oh, I love having everybody be armed to the gills. You know what I mean? It's the best. It's the greatest. You know? So dumb. They like a fair fight. They absolutely do not like a fair fight. Okay? They do not. Leos were on the gun control side back in the 90s, but I guess cultural shifts of the rank and file resulted in such lobbying to die out. Yeah, I can see that. Someone in the chat also said there are like a lot of police unions that actually come out for gun control. Guys, in America, it's not like, yeah, they like an excuse to mag dump is such a funny take because you think cops need an excuse to mag dump in America? Are you kidding me? Yeah, dude, they really need an excuse to fucking mag dump on a random person in this country. Okay? Hasanabi starting his grifter arc. I mean, I've said this before. I said it during Uvalde. I've said it time and time again. You cannot, under any circumstance, consider me to be a pro-cop person, but it just, like, objectively doesn't make sense if your job is to, like, harass random people. Wouldn't it be easier to do that without the legitimate fear that you might have that that person could also be armed? You know, it's certainly not going to, you know, stop them from mag dumping regardless whether the other person has a gun or not. Anyway, there'd be less excuse to act brutal. You guys are on crack if you think that the American police force needs an excuse to act brutal. Like, look at the public reception of the police force in the United States of America. Okay? You're like, are we acting like cops don't kill unarmed people all the time all of a sudden? Like, what's happening? There was a story that I didn't even cover that was such a fucking hilarious cop moment where a cop shows up to someone's house. The lady has like some designer dog, like a Pomeranian or something, not even like a big dog, okay? Cop decides to mag dump the dog, but of course he's got stormtrooper aim, ends up fucking shooting the lady in the leg on her own goddamn porch, and then the lady says, "Ow, you shot me." He says, "Nah, that's probably some other bite. You probably got bit by your dog or something." It's like, no, you shot her. In that situation, why do you think he pulled the trigger? You think, no, the shooting his own partner is a different one. I've covered that one before. This is a news story. No, guys, the one where the cop tries to mag dump on a dog and then shoots his partner is a different one. That's a famous Hasanabi meme where I'm like laughing my ass off. This is a different one. This is a new one. Here.
Dog, I'll kill him. Get your dog. You better get that. Get your dog. I'll kill.
Columbia County Deputy Brian Williams fires a warning shot, but that quickly escalates.
You better get back. I'll kill that. Get back.
Now pay attention to the bottom right of your screen.
That's the dog. That's the, oh, you can't see it. Bro. Look at the dog. Look at the dog. Can you see it? It's like right there. Can you see it? You can kind of see his eyes. Be careful. You might not be able to see it if you don't pay close attention to this vicious, bloodthirsty Pomeranian. Do you understand? This motherfucker saw Ein and was like, oh, dude, execution time. Big cowboy, or is it not a Pomeranian? What is it? Like, what's the one from Cowboy Bebop? That's a Pomeranian, isn't it? Oh, it's a Welsh Corgi. Dude. Ein is a Corgi, my bad. Listen, he wanted to shoot the dog because he was like, that dog is actually a secret weapon. It's got too much. That dog was built in a lab. You don't understand. Thank God he's a shit shot. No, not thank God. Him being a shit shot in that very moment actually caused the lady on her own fucking porch to be shot in the leg. That's the data dog. She goes, "Ah, you shot me." To which his response is,
I shot who?
I shot who? Look at this fucking guy. Still, instead of immediately putting the gun down and being like, "Oh fuck, I'm so sorry. Let me try to register aid or give you aid." Register. He goes. He comes in like he's playing fucking Rainbow Six Siege over here. Look at this. Look.
I didn't shoot
Still
her.
aiming. Render aid. Administer aid. Whatever. Shut up. I fucked up. It doesn't matter.
William
He's over here. It's time to double tap. Seems like this unruly woman. This has to be a joke? No, man. I mean, it kind of is a joke because policing in America is a fucking joke. So, yeah, technically it is a joke because he is.
appears to aim at a Pomeranian, but instead hits Tina Height, who is standing right next to another deputy.
The funniest part about it is that he almost accidentally shot the deputy, which has happened before. You know, as you guys remember, that famous Hasanabi moment where people were trying to get mad at me and they were like clipping it to be like, look, Hassan is laughing at a cop shooting another cop when he's trying to mag dump on a dog. And then everyone online was like, no, this is objectively funny that this happened. What's wrong with you? Remember when that shit happened like a year ago where I was laughing my ass off at the cop shooting another a cop because he was trying to fucking mag dump into a dog and they were trying to outrage farm, which, you know, basically backfired because everyone was like, no, this is a funny clip. Thank you for showing this to me. This.
Oh, watch out, watch out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Watch out. Are you okay? No, you shot me. Oh, God. Are you okay? Echo 7, 1081.
Look out! And then started blasting. Look out, I got a gun. Are you okay? No, you shot me. Oh God, it's so good. Anyway, that was fire. To be fair, yes, he did say, look out. It's so good. So, anyway, good stuff overall in the history of policing in the United States of America. Oh, for those, oh God, guys, watch out, watch out, watch out. Guys, I'm sorry, trigger warning. That's a vicious, deadly, dangerous weapon of mass destruction that you just showed. I got scared for a second. Don't worry. It's hidden. It's hidden. You won't have to see the terrifying. Somebody pull out a gun immediately. Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh no. Fuck. That could have been porn. That link could have been porn. No, it's akc.org. What kind of fucking porn would be on akc.org on the link? Like, I saw the link. It said akc.org, WP content uploads Pomeranian on white. That's why I clicked on it. Ah! Sorry. Every Pomeranian I've known has been a fucking psychopath, though. Is true. Except it doesn't even matter because they're so tiny that, like, a geared up cop, what's he gonna do? Try to bite his fucking ankles? He's got boots on and shit. I don't think a Pomeranian could break skin, is my point. Oh, wait, hold on. I think my parents are here. Hold on. I'm gonna play this for you, and I'll be back in a second.
At the end of this week, Trump's lawyers are going to be before judges in both the classified documents case and the January 6th case. Rebecca, an indication of just how extensive Trump's legal exposure already is. Rebecca.
All right, Aaron, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
Justin, a newly unsealed court document gives us a clue about how the special counsel built the case around Donald Trump. We're back here at the table with our legal team, starting with you, Caitlin Polance. You have been reading through this. What can you tell us?
I have. So we just got this court decision from the D.C. Circuit, the appeals court. It was a case that was under seal, very curious what it was. And now we know it was a case between the special counsel's office, the people investigating January 6th, and Donald Trump and Twitter. And what happened was in January, the special counsel investigators went to Twitter and they said, we have a search warrant and we would like data and records related to Donald Trump's Twitter account @RealDonaldTrump. At that time, they didn't comply right away. Twitter had some sort of...
Sorry, it's madness here. It's chaos. One of my buddies is here for a couple hours while exterminators are killing the Black Widow's nest in his house, and my mom and dad just walked in, and they saw Kaya for the first time in a long time. Last time they saw Kaya was like as large as my hand, and they're freaking out a little bit. Yeah, a Black Widow's nest. 3 Black Widow's nests in my friend's house. Yeah, you gotta burn the house down. That's how it works. Brandon on that coke again. Love that. All right. Special counsel got a search warrant for Trump's Twitter account. Why keep the house? Yeah, you got burned down. Kaya, no jumping. Be a good girl, not a bad girl. Freaking out. She's so excited. Grandparents are here to spoil her. Yeah, she's like, oh, my favorite chew toy is back. Both of my favorite chew toys are back. She's gonna be a bad girl. Anne, you want to take her? I'm gonna take her outside. Hey, Kaya, no jumping. Kaya, off. Off. No, wait, Mom, wait. Tell her to sit. This is the command for sit. Yeah, do a fist. Yeah, good girl. Wait. No, Mom, take. Okay, take her out to pee, though, first. Please. Yeah. And here, do you want a bag of treats? Here you go. I don't usually let her in the front yard unsupervised without a leash. Okay. Training your family can sometimes be harder than training a dog. No, that's like, I have to. Do a knee up for jumping, not like a kick, but just in the air so they know it's bad. Yeah, I do that. No, I have already trained my parents. They know how to deal with her. No, her cat, Mom, Nick's cat is way more of a demon than my dog. Yes, she is a nuclear weapon. Okay, Mom, don't pet her. I promise you are going to get scratched and bit. Yeah, there's a cat in my house as well. Well, my friend has a cat. Do not let Kaya near the cat, please. I do not want her to be scarred permanently by cats. Both physically and literally and figuratively. Why didn't the cat take care of the Black Widows? My friend, it's good that she didn't because Black Widows can kill you. Is Kaya still biting? No. Are you going to show us the dog? What do you mean? Every day. This dog is in here with me in this room every day. This is the one time when she's not here. She's with my parents. All right. Let's get back to it. Special counsel got a search warrant for Trump's Twitter account.
sort of hiccups. They took a little bit of time. They faced a fine of $350,000.
Damn, this guy's good.